Hello there. I hope that you can hear me. I'm never know with this microphone, but I believe that everything goes well and that you can actually hear me. If there will be anyone and you will be able to hear me or you won't be able to hear me, I hope that you will just let me know. Otherwise, we can have a pantomima here. So, why am I actually doing this live? I'm not sure if there's gonna be anyone or not. This is going to be also saved on my YouTube channel, so you can come back to this anytime you want. And this live stream is mainly to first answer some questions. I had some people asking me very interesting questions towards the topic of identity reset, which is um, the whole experience that I'm doing right now, and we're almost at the half. We're actually already in the second half of the identity reset because we experienced like 5 weeks of first lesson and second meditation or any kind of activity. And yeah, so it's already like it's gonna be a third week already. And so the second week was about the disconnection. It was about the feeling of, all right, I'm doing all this stuff. For example, I'm doing all this work for my school. I'm doing all this work for my job. I'm doing, I'm pretty good with the deadlines and everything, and I'm praised. There is always applause on my presentation. Everything is on point. So why do I feel this way once I get home and in the evening I eat my dinner, I chew the food, and I'm not really excited about going to the work the next day? Or the same with school, or the same with basically anything. It can be even like relationship, it can be friendship. It can be anything you are doing in your free time. And it can be anything that you get to choose whether you want to do it or not. Because, surprise, you can choose what kind of job are you working. If you don't think that, you cannot. It is really just in your belief. It is really embedded only in your belief. So, it's something. Changing beliefs isn't at all very easy, but it's always extremely worth it. It's the only thing that it's worth it. And really, anything, I'm gonna be saying that always. Like anything that costs you your authenticity is just too expensive. And yeah, whether it's a reputation, whether it's your friends, your long, long time friends, whether it is anything that you feel like you need to hold on to so that you don't feel alone after losing it. You don't want to lose it because you don't want to feel alone. Or you don't want to lose it because of your financial freedom. You don't want to lose it because of your success and of the feeling of success, of how success feels. So, yeah, this is really the second week of the disconnection. And also, this live stream would be really, I wanted to make it like a chat. I don't know if anyone will be here. So if there will be none of the people, uh, you're welcome, even after it's publicly, accessible on my YouTube channel. So make a popcorn, make a tea, make anything you want, and just enjoy. And I hope that I will bring you some kind of value, whether it is in the answers or, yeah, in the stuff that I'm going to be sharing today. Uh, I'm going to talk until the sun will be set. That's the timeline. Until I will see my face, or until I won't no longer I will no longer be able to see my face, I'm going to call this a day. But I still can see my face. So let's talk about, I would like to open this live stream with one question that I got. And I think it's regarding for, yes, I think it's regarded for to the second week, and or maybe just, a regular identity reset in like it all. And the question is like, hi, thank you for the video, blah, 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 thank you so much. It's from Emma, and she is asking, how do I know if I've lost my true self, or if I'm just tired when I do something, like when I go for a job, where when I'm going and daily going to the job, that is might be kind of monotonous, that might, it gives you the salary. That's very important as well. We're practical people here, but everything has its limits. So let's look at this situation. If you go into your job, and how you would explain the difference between losing yourself, your true self, and just being tired. Let's start with being tired, because that's way less complex, I would say. Being tired, you can also divide it, from from what activity are you tired, whether it is mental tiredness, whether it is physical tiredness. But generally, if you are tired but you still have the drive in you, and you still wake up the next day and you see the meaning of you going to that job, of you doing that activity, once you see the meaning, it is worth it, and you haven't lost yourself. Because, and we're going to the first part, how do I know if I've lost myself? Once there would be lacking the meaning, the why, the reason, why have you decided to go for it? Why are you studying this? Why are you studying medical school if you just dream about painting all the time? Once you wake up and you go to the job, which is IT, for example, and you really want to make hairstyles, you love it. Your algorithm is full of hairstyles. Once there is this, disconnection in your head and in your reality, in your current responsibilities, that's when you cannot really lose yourself. So I would reframe it into, you kind of forgot who you really are. Because the fact and the truth is, you can never lose yourself. I know that maybe Eminem wouldn't really like agree with me. You can lose yourself only paradoxically, you can lose yourself only in activity that is giving you the biggest meaning. Because I can imagine, when I'm a dancer and I'm also a singer, I can lose myself definitely when I'm dancing. I can lose myself so easily when I'm singing. I can lose the feeling of how 1 minute feels. I can lose the time. I can lose, I can really become the activity. But this is a topic about flow. So this is the only, in my opinion, when I think about it right now like that, this is really the only thing you can lose yourself. And if you think you have lost yourself by doing something you don't like, by doing something that doesn't fulfill you, that is just forgetting. And yourself, your true core self, is still within, and it's still waiting. And it is, the thing is, which I find so beautiful, is that your true self will never leave you. And I believe that because it's like if your true self will leave you, your soul would leave you and you wouldn't be there anymore. And so this is what I find so comforting and so like ensuring, and how would I say, it gives you this sense of peace. It gives you this sense of, okay, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. Because your true self will be always there for you. And whenever you're ready, even if you're 70 years old and you really want to start a farm, or you have lots of energy and you want to just travel, you want to write a book, you want to become a writer at that age, it's perfect. And your true self, your core, your authenticity will never ever betray you. I think that's the word what I wanted to say. It will never betray you. It will be always there. And it also comes from my personal experience, because everything I do here is really just my personal experience of the internal world, from my insights from journaling, from my insights of having anxiety, having eating disorder, having really bad moment in life, like having some kind of panic attacks, and I needed to regulate myself because I had no one around me, and I was 1000 kilometers away from my home, and I had to go through and I had to survive, let's say. So really, I had to face so many situations. I had to really like, you know, bet on myself. And yeah, I kind of lost what I wanted to say. That when you really trust that there is still the within, there is still you waiting for yourself. It's it's such a it's such a beautiful feeling, as if your mom was always waiting for you at home. And it's this beautiful feeling of, okay, there is this, you know this ensuring feeling. And so when it comes to me, I think this is what I was talking about, that when I was mm, trying to please others, when I was trying to become the person that would get the applause, at least in my family, if I would try to become the person that was really um that was really this good girl, this really really successful, you know person in the family that people were proud of. And I thought that it can be done only by doing economics. Wow, such a stable word. However, I really decided to go through that stable way. For me, it was some kind of way that gave me um sense of stability, as I said, that gave me the sense of, okay, I will, whenever I want to do anything, whenever I want to do in the future, I will still have this plan B. Well, plan B is never really good for a brain, because once you still have a plan B, this is from neuroscience, not neurology, neuroscience. Once you still have your plan B, your brain knows about it. You want to kind of hide it, in front of the brain, but your brain knows it, and your brain knows so much more than you actually know that you know, if you get what I mean. Because there is subconscious mind. Subconsciously, you have decided to fail. It's true. Oh, I said what I said. I'm not saying that, life happens, we have responsibilities. If you have the bills to pay, of course, plan B is always needed. It's not a good thing. It's needed, actually. And if you have some kind of responsibilities, you're responsible for your family, this is a different topic, but it's still very possible. And in this case, your plan B is crucial. um it is your job basically, but aside you're doing your inner work, aside you're doing the stuff that is for you, you're aside, from, as we say, the 9 to 5 is what gives you money. The 5 to 9 is what gives you freedom. It can be 5 to 9 in the morning, it can be 5 to 9 in the evening, it can be both, as you want, as you are driven. It's up to you, but never ever forget about yourself. Job is one thing. Job is the thing that, for now, if it needs to be done, that is that is admirable. But never ever betray yourself in a way that you would forget about investing in yourself. That will never ever give you anything good in the future. That will only, actually, this is interesting because once you do something for yourself in the future, sorry, something for yourself now, in the future you will get the fruit. However, if you do nothing for yourself in the future, it will backfire, and it will backfire in a way that, as if you would get something, you will actually lose something. When you, as I said, I studied economics, so let's get into economic stuff. I just want to talk about inflation. If you would be friend with compounding interest and you would invest your money, the compounding interest would give you more freedom. The compounding interest would give you way more than you have right now, or than you would have even if the money would be still the same value. However, if you would do nothing for yourself, that's literally the meaning, the essence, mm, the principle of investing. If you do nothing, you actually are doing bad for yourself right now. Because if you would have, like, I don't know, $1 million right now, and you wouldn't invest it, let's say 20 years from now, the things you could have bought right now for that $1 million, you couldn't, we had, and plus we never know, maybe it wouldn't be worth, um and even like half of the value that it was right now. So this is really what investing in yourself means. And this is also a big thing about live streams, that if I'm gonna do them regularly, this is going to be, stream of thoughts. This is literally going to be, once I go into flow and once I just go into, some kind of topic, I can, I can go anywhere. So sorry if that would be somewhat confusing, because that's very possible. I can be confusing sometimes, even though I'm doing my best not to be. But yeah, this is just the thing that I wanted to say. However, so coming back to that personal experience, the disconnection really happens when you are doing something that doesn't give you any meaning. If it gives you meaning and you're tired as hell, that's, for example, or honestly, that's sometimes, for example, me right now. Because what I'm trying to do is to nurture this YouTube channel, to give you guys the value and to make you feel empowered. As at the same time, I'm trying to work on my music, and I'm trying to prepare for my another school. And I'm really seeing that, like, 7 days a week, mm, it's not enough sometimes. So, yeah, this also happens to me a lot, that I just wake up tired. But there is a different kind of drive once you have the meaning. Because once you see meaning in the things that you do, the life from somewhere, I don't know where, it's not a coffee, it's not a green tea, it's not matcha, there is some kind of different source that you will be given the drive to continue and to not give up. But yeah. Oh, I'm looking at the moon right now. Beautiful. That's actually also a little sign of me having to call it a day, but I'm not so even like, I'm only in the first question actually. So I will need to work on that to make it more effective maybe. But I think this is also the part of the live stream, you know. I'm When I'm with my friend, we don't have any plan of what to talk about. So I think I'm no longer going to be needing any plan neither. But I made one just in case. But yeah. And so back to the disconnection and my own personal experience. I hope that I'm gonna just finish it right now. Uh, when it came to my school and when it came to, you know, let's say the half part of me studying this and really like putting a lot of effort into it, because another thing, once it's not really aligned with you, it's not going to feel light. It's not going to feel like, you know, right now if someone tells me something about the human brain, music, I remember stuff like this. Okay, sometimes of course brains are not 100% functioning, but usually once you're driven and once you're really like passionate about the stuff that you hear, it's very easy. Actually, it's impossible to forget something like, you know, something like uh, the power of your subconscious mind, something like the power of subliminals, something like very interesting things about addictions. It's just impossible to forget. It's like your favorite song. And so once you see yourself putting too much effort in comparison with other peers, with comparison with other, um, colleagues, once you are the one that is putting the most effort and still is very average, there is there is a red flag here. And so that is something to pay attention to. But again, if you are just, I'm not talking about the moment when you're just starting and you are really new to the field. That is okay. If you don't know anything and you really are driven and you really are ambitious to make it in that field that you've just, chosen to be good at, do it. Do it 100%. You will be horrible in the beginning. And I'm telling you that with the biggest amount of love and honesty, because I came through that. And you are not going to be good. And then if you continue, then you're going to be better. And then if you still continue, you're going to be average. And then if you still continue, then it becomes like a second language to you. And that's when, after like 5 years or whatever the time is, don't forget about the time actually. Once you are really going to get through that, through that moment of, okay, I'm average, but I'm still going on, and then you become really unstoppable. And so yeah, this is basically um the very thing I wanted to say. And for me, this wasn't, on in that school particularly. For me, that really wasn't the case, and I started to be really, I started to disconnecting myself in a ways that I was trying to avoid any class. I was trying to, do anything else, just do anything else but to do the mm, to do the school. So yeah, once you see this, once, and it was very natural, you know. Once you see yourself, observe yourself. Like, I was observing myself, I was journaling about that. Like, why do I feel the way I feel? The most important thing is to ask. And this is also something that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow, which is going to be the third lesson, and going to be the truth underneath, the power of why. Asking yourself is the most important thing. Questioning yourself. It's not doubting yourself. Once you doubt yourself, you've already like made some kind of judgment about yourself, because you're doubting yourself. You believe something, so you believe something like you're not enough, so that's why you're doubting yourself in doing something that would make you feel enough. However, if you question yourself every day, that's very important. Like, um become this person of like, why do I do this? Why am I this way? Why, if I talk to authority, why do I why do I just am all of a sudden this people pleaser? You know, all these things are so important to observe, to be aware. That's why awareness is just the most important thing that exists, basically. It's the catalyst, it's the start. So yeah, to finish it off, I'm gonna just finish this little story of mine, in that school, and with the relationship to music as well, because I had the chance to also go to the music school. But just so I don't think I drank, just so that I would really make my family, especially my family and my ego, calm, I went to the economic school. And yeah, there was this disconnection. And what happened is that I then went with the school. Actually, I went to a different country to study for like a half year to a different school. I stayed there for 1.5 year in that country because I really couldn't go back. And this was a feeling that I was like, you have to do it. I don't know what are the consequences. I don't care right now, honestly, but you have to do it. It's gonna i- it's gonna all end up well, but and now you have to do this. And I found a job there. You know, I started to live in another country, and that's where I actually also became my own coach, because I needed one. I really needed to be taken care of, but I really had no one to really rely on in this mental space. I have amazing friends, I have amazing family, but in that space where you need some kind of more depth and more. I'm not saying that my friends aren't deep, but that professional aspect, the aspect that you have to like pay someone, to literally give you the professional advice. That's where I really didn't have um, any possible, basically, um, opportunity. So I had to kind of coach myself through all of that, and I then realized that, yeah, that I really wasn't on the best place. That was the first realization. Right now, I look at it from a perspective, a little bit different perspective, because anything that happens in your life is for a reason, and you can always find a meaning in anything that you do. And so now I look at it as something really good and something that gave me so much, and I'm so grateful for. And it really gave me a lot also through the part of the financing part, the critical thinking part, and anything else. So it's really mm, it's good to kind of let go of this resentment that you know we usually tend to have this resentment towards something that was kind of a burden or was kind of an obstacle in a way where we really wanted to go. Whether we, in my case, if I wanted to be really like dive, if I would dive deep into the music, and if I would be really wanting to dive deep into the music and to focus only on the music and not care about any analytics or anything like that, I would really like envy the school. But this is not the way. So let loose, let go of this resentment and of this judgment of what's wrong or what's good. We never know. There is bigger plan for us. So believe that. And I see that the sun has completely set, and all I see is lights and a moon. So I think I'm gonna end it here. It's only like 30 minutes, but oh, never mind. I still have some other questions, but I'm gonna leave it to the next Sunday. And if anyone sees this, hello. Um, Maybe this will be regular. You can write down in the comments if you have watched it until now. I admire you for that. But yeah, if you have watched me until now, you can write down into the comments whether you like it. You can pose a question on anything. If you watch my videos as well, you can just ask me here anything, and we can do it in a way that I would be then taking the questions and every reactions to this video, and I would answer and react on them the next week. I think we can do it like that. I will see. I will see. However, be prepared for the third lesson, which is going to be tomorrow, something, afternoon ish, evening. I will see. And yeah, guys, stay awesome. Love you so much, even though there was like one person. I love you, the one person who was here. And yeah, have an amazing start of the week. Bye. I forgot that it's not a video that I can cut. Whatever. How do I actually like, finish this? Are you sure you won't stop streaming? Yes.